Former President Donald Trump has announced his intention to win the deep blue state of New York. Trump just finished his rally in Uniondale, which is right outside of New York City. And let me tell you, as someone who was really disappointed with his debate performance against Kamala Harris, and yes, I know it was unfair. I know the moderators were against him, but still, I was disappointed with his performance. Well, even with that, let me tell you, this was a barn burner of a speech. If he stays on message, if this is the Trump we see between now and Election Day, I'm telling you, we are in for one heck of a ride. We are in for a fight. And this is exactly what Trump needed to do. He delivered. Now, I don't know if he can actually win New York. You know, that's really, if I'm being honest, I think far-fetched. But that's what they said about Trump in Pennsylvania in 2016. That's what they said about Trump in Michigan. So I'm not going to count him out. We'll see how this plays out, especially when we see what happened when Trump went to his rally. So he was staying in New York City, and when he left, the people in New York lined the streets to greet his motorcade. This was this afternoon as he was headed to Uniondale. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I've spent quite a bit of time in New York. And let me tell you, New Yorkers, they don't stop for anything. So to have this level of support as far as people stopping to cheer on the motorcade says a lot. You know, he's been in New York a lot, and we haven't seen that in years past. So for reference, Uniondale is over on the right here on the map, and you can see how close it is in proximity to New York City itself. So when Trump arrived at the stadium, it was jammed packed. So here you can hear the crowd, see the crowd. 16,000 people inside. The campaign reported that 60,000 people requested tickets online. There was a huge overflow crowd outside, which I'll show you. But as you can see, just a packed house. No one had to be bussed in. There was no free entertainment beforehand. Now, I will say, and this will surprise you, but I think it's a heartwarming story, which is why I want to include it. But President Trump was late for his rally. In fact, he was late they were trying to rush him on stage. Why? Well, he made a visit with Liam. So for those of you who missed it, there's this young boy named Liam, and now, I haven't really been following this story closely, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding that he has a rare genetic brain disorder. And former President Trump and Melania Trump actually wrote him a letter. So this is context. So here's Liam opening the letter from former President Trump, which, in case you haven't seen it, trust me, you want to see this.
Carefully. Can you read it? Out loud?
Yeah.
Sure. It says, Dear Liam, happy 8th birthday. Mrs. Trump and I hope you enjoy this special occasion surrounded by the love of your family and friends. We are so encouraged by the strength and determination you have shown throughout your young life, and send our love and best wishes to you as you continue to fight. Remember, you are never alone, and we are keeping you in our thoughts and prayers for continued care and good health. May God bless you and your family. Stay strong. Sincerely. Can you tell me who signed that? He knew it was your birthday coming up? What do you say to him?
Thank you. I love you.
What else do you say?
Thank you.
That's just... I'm a little teary just watching that. It's really sweet. And you'll notice there was no press there. You know, it was just his mom filming this, and she posted it online, and it went viral. You know, Trump wasn't asking for attention. Well, it went viral, and Liam and his mom and their friends were invited to this rally, and Trump visited him to actually give him a birthday present backstage. And that's why Trump was late to the rally, because he took time out of his day, time out of his schedule to meet one-on-one with this boy. And I want to show you this because this is a side of Trump I don't think we ever see from the mainstream media, even supposedly conservative-friendly media. Take a look at this.
I'm supposed to be on that stage, but that doesn't matter. Because I got you the best president you'll ever have. This is the best president you'll ever have. How are you, Bob?
Very good.
Hi, Mom. Okay, honey, this is yours. And in there is real good stuff. Okay? So beautiful. Thank you. See, look at that. great photographers. And we're going to have that picture of a life, okay? You and I. Is he going to come out and watch me?
Of course.
Because I left the stage in order to come and say hello to
How
him.
special you are.
Okay, honey? So beautiful. So you take care of mom and dad? Is that your sister, right?
Takes care of us a lot right here.
So why don't you do this? Take care of yourselves. Okay, I'm going to go right out there.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, honey, okay? I wish I looked like that. If I looked like that, I'd be president.
You know, he's not asking for the attention. He's not promoting himself doing these nice deeds. He just does them. And, you know, people, of course, share them online and they end up going viral. But it's not like, you know, he's bringing around his press corps. You watch him walk in. It's not like he had cameras flashing and just storming the room with him. So when he was on stage, he made several, you know, the speech itself was great. And I encourage you to watch it if you have time. But there were several major announcements. One of them was his announcement that he's going to visit both Springfield and Aurora, Colorado.
I'm going to Springfield and I'm going to Aurora. You may never see me again, but that's okay. Got to do what I got to do. Whatever happened to Trump? Well, he never got out of Springfield. I'm leading in Ohio by like 15 points, a lot. And we're going to take care of Ohio, and we're going to take care of Colorado, and we're going to take care of every single state in the union. They're all under siege. A lot of people don't talk about. But think of this. So the mayor of Springfield, and I think he's a very nice person, but instead of saying we're getting them all out.
So, yeah, I mean, he used humor to talk about it, but he's keeping the focus on, you know, the forgotten men and women in this country, the people of flyover country, you know, letting them know that, hey, you're not forgotten. I am your voice. And he's also keeping the focus by visiting these two cities specifically, keeping the focus on immigration, which is one of his strengths. Now, he announced his plan to restore the SALT deduction, and the crowd went wild.
I will cut taxes for families, small businesses, and workers, including restoring the SALT deduction, saving thousands of dollars for residents of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and other high-cost states.
Now, the Trump team is going to release more details in the coming days, but it sounds like part of that plan is actually going to eliminate the SALT deduction cap. And, you know, the National Review is already angry about this. Now, Trump wants limitless state and local tax deductions. So for those of you unfamiliar, it's deductions on state income, local income, general sales, and then property taxes. And so, you know, I think eliminating that, I think the current cap is 10,000. Eliminating that is a huge deal. And yes, it would primarily affect Republicans in blue states, but, you know, if you're going to do tax cuts, then, you know, do it for the blue states as well. And I think that that's really going to play strong in New York, strong in Pennsylvania, strong in New Jersey. So, you know, I theorized earlier, maybe this visit to New York is about hitting that Pennsylvania market, about hitting all the markets, because New York is the media hub of the country. But maybe, you know, if he really is serious about making a play for New York, then restoring the SALT deduction and then getting rid of that cap is huge news. Next, Trump had a specific pitch to New York, which was the same pitch he had to black voters in 2016.
And so I say to the people of New York, with crime at record levels, with terrorists and criminals pouring in, and with inflation eating your hearts out, vote for Donald Trump. What the hell do you have to lose? What do you have to lose?
You know, he said that in 2016. People went crazy over it. They thought it was so abrasive. They thought it would backfire. Well, Trump now has the largest support among every minority group, especially black voters, than any Republican in history. And in fact, you know, they're estimating that Trump's going to win as many as 1 in 4 black men this election. Some polls are saying maybe as high as 22, 23%. I mean, regardless, the reality is that Trump is doing better with minorities than any other group. And that was what he said, what the hell do you have to lose, when he was courting black voters. And now he's using that on the state of New York. And that brings me to this next point, where Trump pledged that he is making a play for the state.
And I'm thrilled to be back in the state I love with thousands of proud, patriotic New Yorkers who are really the heart and soul of America. We know that. And the reason I'm here is because it hasn't been done in many decades. It hasn't been done for a long time, but we are going to win New York.
What I think we'll want to watch out for in the coming days is earlier this year, Trump actually talked about potentially hosting a rally in Madison Square Garden, which of course is in New York City itself. Local NBC and New York 4 affiliate confirmed earlier this year, Donald Trump teased his possible Madison Square Garden rally. If he really is serious about this, I think that that's one of the things we're going to want to keep an eye on. Of course, he held the rally in the Bronx, and then I think the next move, he talked about, he teased Madison Square Garden. So I think that'll be one of the places to see if he actually books the venue. Then we'll know, he's not just doing it for media. He's not just doing it for fundraising, that he's actually serious about attempting to flip the state. And remember, a lot of people are saying that this is going to be a turnout election. A lot of people's views on Trump are solidified. A lot of people don't know about Kamala Harris, or they don't trust her, or they don't like what they've seen. So like most elections, but especially this one, it's going to come out to turnout. And, maybe if people are disenfranchised with the Democrats, if they're disenfranchised with the economy, if they don't trust Kamala, maybe they'll just sit home. Maybe they won't come out to vote against Donald Trump. Maybe they'll just say, you know what, I'm going to stay home. And maybe, we're going to see the polls blown out of the water like we did in 2020, 2016. I don't know, but I'm just saying we've seen stranger things. This election cycle, who would have bet that Joe Biden would have been kicked out? Who would have bet that it would have been Kamala, that the Democrats would have rallied around her the way they did? She was the most unpopular vice president just a few weeks ago. Come on, it wasn't that hard to see that Joe Biden realistically was going to be kicked out, but to have the Democrats rally around Kamala, I think that's the real surprise. Now, outside of the Trump rally, there was a massive overflow crowd, several thousands of people. ABC News attempted to film a news segment, and the Trump supporters, booed and peacefully chased ABC News away. So you can see the media going, but as the camera pans left, you can see the chairs and the lawn chairs that the Trump supporters brought out to watch the speech on the big screen outside. Last but not least, there are reports now of riots happening in New York City. Apparently, these are leftists, and they are both protesting. They're attacking police officers, and then they are protesting for free transit. They want the public subways and the buses to all be paid for and be free, and paid for by taxpayers. So I'm just wondering, I'm not very much of a conspiratorial person. It could just be coincidence that, Trump is there. Trump's hosting a rally outside the city. He's going to have to come back into the city, to go to Trump Tower, go to his residence. Maybe the riot's just coincidence, but, I for those of you who do pray, I just would encourage you to pray for Trump's safety as he leaves the rally and goes back into the city, especially with how crazy things have been the last few weeks. As always, this is my analysis, this is my commentary, and I'd love to know yours in the comments below. Do you think that Trump is seriously making a play for New York, or do you think he's bluffing? Maybe it's a distraction. Maybe it's a head fake. Maybe he's trying to trick the Harris campaign into pouring their resources into a safe blue state to take away money from states like Georgia and Pennsylvania. Or, this could be exactly what it appears, an earnest effort to earn the vote of New York. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.